Hello and welcome to Ben Exposits, a series of short lectures on basically anything I bloody well like. Enjoy! There are some for whom life is a stroll down a straight path. They start at birth and carry on walking. They see paths leading off in other directions, but pootle along, only stopping to change their boots, pick up a spouse and some kids as travel companions, and although the longer they walk, the slower they become, they remain sure of their route. And when the path comes to an end, they lean against a tree and close their eyes. There are those who want to get to the end quicker, so they hop on a motorbike or jump into a fast car and speed to the end, barely stopping to take in the view. Then there are those who meander. The path is straight ahead of them. It's easy to follow. You don't need a map, as millions have trod the path visible before them, but they can't help it. They get pulled away from the main path by the promise of something more exciting down every little tributary, and they wander. Some come out at the end feeling that their journey was more satisfying. They had seen things that many don't see. Then there are other meanderers who come blinking out of the forest and wonder why they wasted all that time wandering in barren lands, leaving a trail of empty bottles and broken promises behind them. There are also those who don't understand the point of walking at all, and just find a grass verge to sit down on and fall asleep before they finish their journey. Thankfully, there aren't so many of those. This piece is of the third variety. It is a meander. I have no idea where it's going, and I just hope that it comes out onto the path full of stories of adventure rather than regret at the time lost. This piece is about the purpose of gaming. An incredibly pompous proposition, but if I can't be pompous in my own podcast, then when can I be pompous? The answer is in almost every interaction I have in daily life. Pomposity is something I do exceptionally well. Gaming is a thing, and so therefore must have a purpose. Even the most vacuous and shallow things, no matter how facile, have a purpose. TV talent shows, for instance, were created with the express purpose of making me despair of humanity, and Facebook was created to highlight how well everyone else is doing while my life festers in a morass of inactivity. What is gaming's purpose, though? There is a surprising amount of media related to board gaming. Almost all of it beautifully amateurish and well-meaning. It's one of the things that draws me so irrevocably into the hobby. The feeling that people are creating content for the sole purpose of helping other people come to decisions. This is, of course, hogwash. There is a huge element of self-aggrandizement and narcissism in uploading any kind of media to the internet. This podcast is Exhibit 1. But there's also a genuine feeling of care for the community in board game media. Most of the people don't get paid, and those that do don't get paid very much. All of them also try to address the meaning question, whether obliquely or directly. A review of a game is in part as to inquire to the purpose of the game, and to inquire about the purpose of a game is to ponder upon the purpose of gaming in general. The question I hear asked rhetorically on so many reviews is it fun? The question is asked so frequently that the implication is unavoidable, that the purpose of gaming is fun. Is that true? Before we can reach any conclusion, we need to define what fun is. Are satisfaction and fun the same thing? Are enjoyment and fun the same thing? Does fun imply some sort of inherent level of activity or quota of laughter, or is it simply a feeling of well-being, whether that be voiced or not? Does that count as fun? I suppose the real question I'm asking is, can Eurogamers said to be having fun? I looked in the dictionary for a definition of fun. It read thus: enjoyment, amusement, light-hearted pleasure. Rather than clear things up, this rather muddied the water because it means two things, depending on how you read it. If you read that fragment as one thought, each word a part of a whole, like a bulb in a string of Christmas lights, if one is not properly in place, then none of them light up. If you see that definition that way, then I can see no way that it could be proposed that people who play heavy Euros could be having fun. Enjoyment, yes. Amusement, periodically, but light-hearted pleasure? I've played some heavy Euro games, and I would be committing spiritual fraud to claim that they were light-hearted. There is very little of the fool at court in a heavy Euro game. It's serious, weighty contemplation. Let's look at the definition again. Enjoyment, amusement, light-hearted pleasure. There is another way to read that statement. The words needn't be taken as an interdependent collection of inclusive thoughts, rather as each element being at once a part of the whole and at the same time existing in their own right as a definition of fun. If that is the case, then Eurogamers can be said to be having fun. Are they having fun? Are Steffenfeld games fun? I think fun has a bad reputation. We see fun as flippant. We see it as an aside from the seriousness of real life. Fun is fine when you're a kid, but as an adult the world moves too fast for fun. But think of most of the good memories filed away in your brain. So much real estate is taken up in our memory of times when we had fun, and not just as a child. I'm not sure if fun is the purpose of gaming, but if it is, then it's a pretty good one. Fun is flippant and profound at the same time. Fun brings you close to people. Relationships are defined by how fun people are. It colours every aspect of our lives, and to lose it results in terrible things happening. Fun is socially cohesive. It glues people together who aren't adhered by blood. Fun can be abundant and scarce. It exists almost everywhere, and part of living is being able to pick up that stone and squeeze whatever fun you can out of it. Is there only fun, though? Is fun enough? Could there be another purpose for gaming? Could education be the real reason to game? Education is a contentious business. There is a constant push and pull between the progressives and the traditionalists in education. There are those who advocate learning by rote and exams, and those who believe a mind can only truly flourish when its fetters have been sundered and it can float free. I'm personally in the camp that believes that education shouldn't cost anything, across the board, and that the method of delivery can be agreed upon after the rich have stopped monopolising it. But can games educate, though? There are profusions of games to help with mental gymnastics or teach history or help develop teamwork. War games claim that they can help with the understanding of major conflicts that have helped to sculpt our society today. But is that the reason that people play them? So they can learn about aspects hitherto unknown about conflict? Or is it because they like making bang-bang noises and blowing the hell out of their opponent? I'm not being facetious here, I genuinely don't know. And that's because war games make me queasy. I heard someone described the other day as a real World War II fan. I'm a real George Clooney fan. I'm a total Pink Floyd buff. Yeah, I just can't get enough of the Rape of Nanking. It is an unfortunate truth that war has become a complete abstraction to us. It exists on cable news networks and at the end of a joypad. For us, the Second World War is the bridge over the River Kwai, much more than it is the destruction of the lives of millions of people. That's why wargaming makes me queasy. It's playing games with pieces that represent people's grandfathers or great-uncles. I'm perfectly happy to slaughter as many orcs as you would like to put in front of me, but peasants in Flanders? It stops being strategy for me and becomes the glorification of the human being's most base instincts. I don't think we should forget the wars we fought. They serve as a reminder of depths to which we can sink. I'm just not sure that they're suitable topics for games. Can it be said that education is the purpose of gaming? Because if it is, then it is a purpose that is not being served. I don't play games to educate myself any more than I drink alcohol for the taste. Gaming's purpose can't be education. Could the purpose of games be health? Now I know that gamers have a reputation for accompanying their sessions with junk food. It's true too, but health has a far larger remit than how far your belly hangs over your belt. Board games have dug me out of a rut that was promising to become a canyon. They got me out into the world. That is the USP of board games. They have to be played in the community of other people. I'm not including iPad ports of board games here. They're crude facsimiles and shouldn't be mentioned in polite company. If you want to play a board game with me, you have to play with Ben, not a foul-mouthed avatar. Ben is foul-mouthed too, but you get to see it live. People, for all their faults, are great to be around. We are improved by our interactions with people. People make us better, and the beauty of it is that it's reciprocal. Board games facilitate people being in a room with one another, enjoying each other's company, and improving in the process. That could be the purpose of board gaming right there. Its purpose is to improve us, to make us people who can interact with others, who can play nice. And if that's the purpose, then it's noble, and long may it continue.